Is it confusing, sometimes even frustrating, when people talk to you about your diabetes and tell you about this amazing new supplement or quick fix juice cleanse? You try it and not much happens. I hear you. I see people in your same shoes on a daily basis. I'm Dr. Michael Henderson, a board-certified family medicine physician. I visited with hundreds of patients in your same shoes that share that exact same frustration. In my medical practice, it's my joy and passion to help them get their diabetes into remission. They're then free to pursue their passions and live a more thriving and fulfilling life. I'm here to help you shrug off that confusion and frustration and move towards your path of diabetes remission. So, you clicked to listen to this because you wanted to know what foods worsen diabetes and what foods can help get diabetes into remission. Pumped to tell you about that. It's crucial to first understand what diabetes is or how someone gets it. If you're anything like me, when I go to the car shop, the conversation goes something like this. Well, your car's got a problem. And I'm like, okay, I'm following you so far. So you see, the intake manifold was leaking into the throttle body and the gasket's like a casket for the rocker arm. We just need to reset the thermostat and alternate the alternator. You'll be smooth sailing like a sailboat. And I'm like, I guess I'll just be okay driving it until the gasket thing falls off. Have a good day. They might as well be speaking another language. Does that sometimes happen to you at the car shop or at the doctor's office? The doc explains heart gaskets and your pancreatic enzymes and you're like, oh, I totally understand you. That makes complete sense. Maybe not that confident every appointment. So I'm gonna do something for you that I do for nearly every one of my patients. I'm explaining medical concepts by using an analogy or a story, if you will. Then you can relate and understand. The ultimate magic is not only when you can understand, but when you can apply. Imagine changing up the way you eat and feeling better, less bloated, less mental fog, feeling full and happy with your foods. Then seeing your A1C go down. How would that be? That's the goal here. So now that you understand why I use analogies, let's begin. How does diabetes start? In the bowels of Italy lays a little town called Pizzaria. The people of Pizzaria loved their whole grain, crust, veggie pizza. My stories are usually a little cheesy. The town was a well-organized town. When the townspeople were hungry, a simple call to the pizza shop would have a pizza delivered to their front gate, no time. At the gate, the delivery boy would simply turn a special key, unlock the gate, and he could take the delicious pizza into their home. Keys to their gate would always come from the key factory. Pumping out keys was what they did best. The townspeople were pleased. They asked for their pizza, it was delivered, gate unlocked, dinner was served. Things were going well. However, the pizza shop loved experimenting with new flavors, and one particular had the townspeople ecstatic. Pizza with a side of leg of lamb. Pizza delivery scooters were all over town. As they unlocked the gates of the homes, they noticed people always preferred eating the leg of lamb first. Some would even say they were so full, they weren't interested in the pizza. Some delivery boys came back with the pizzas, some just tossed them on the road or in the gutter. That wasn't even the worst of what happened. Just 2 weeks after this new combination, a delivery boy noticed the key wouldn't unlock the gate. He called the key shop in panic and confusion. Quickly, more keys were made and finally one worked. Upon further inspection, they realized the leg of lamb oil grease had actually gummed up the lock. They'd never dealt with this kind of problem before. More and more keys needed to be produced, which caused workers to become exhausted, and employees actually began leaving the key shop. Pizza delivery boys were hired like crazy to deliver the pizzas with the side of leg of lamb. The town soon became full of grease, oil, and pizzas were all over the place. The streets were getting torn up by so many scooters. People were getting so full and bloated from all the food, and keys virtually stopped working on the gates of the houses. If it weren't bad enough with the people, the houses getting stuffed, lethargic, and bloated, the key factory workers were also enjoying the leg of lamb. After becoming so full and bloated, still being required to work, they actually started dying off. Sorry, there's death in this story. The key factory just couldn't keep up with demand. The mayor tried to stimulate the factory to keep pumping, but this just worsened the problem. The key factory eventually went out of business. The town was left to importing large quantities of keys from overseas to keep the city somewhat alive, and so it went on. This is the city of Pizzaria that got Pizzaria. Let's relate to the human body of diabetes. Whole grain crust pizza with veggies represents whole carbohydrate energy and nutrients. Leg of lamb represents certain types of food. This is to be continued. The streets are blood vessels. The key factory, the pancreas. And the key is the hormone insulin. And the houses are cells of the body. Heart cells, liver cells, fat cells, etc. Insulin is the key that allows this energy to get into our cells and be used. When certain foods are used for energy, it can work great. Cells are happy, cells are clean, cells are working well. When other foods are used for energy, or let's be honest, when certain foods or products are used for pleasure or satisfaction or taste, these foods can jam up the lock and it leaves cells bloated, lethargic, and not functioning right. It also causes carbohydrate energy, think of veggie pizza, to wait its turn. Carbohydrate energy can't be used or absorbed until the fat and grease and oil goes into the cell first. That leaves carbohydrate energy out in the bloodstream until it's done using up the fat. Scientific data and my patient's experience proposes that foods that gum up the lock are foods that are high in fat. We will go into more specifics on fats in other videos. The issue here is that fat enters cells first. That causes high blood sugar. So it's not the carbohydrate energy necessarily, it's the fat. Which brings us to our second point. What foods worsen diabetes? Some argue that low carbohydrate foods are best for diabetes. This usually leaves people eating high fat foods. As you can see from my story, if someone just had a leg of lamb and no pizzas ordered, people in homes are still bloated, and yes, key factory workers, your pancreas, have to work on overload. And sadly, even some of those workers start dying. When individuals are eating low carb, high fat foods, of course they have stable blood sugar. It's because they aren't eating much carbohydrate energy. It's no wonder the first higher carbohydrate food they eat sends their blood sugar sky high. The locks of their houses are jammed up. When individuals are interested in not only controlling their diabetes, but reversing it with simply tracking their fat intake. Taking a simple app such as Chronometer or MyFitnessPal, I encourage them to enter their data for at least 3 days. Yet, the more days the better. Check out how much fat you've been eating. Evaluate what foods are highest in fat. Did you know cheese is 70% fat? You can learn a lot by simply tracking foods. The goal is to shoot for 10 to 15% of your calories from fat. For more information on Chronometer and how to use it specifically, please see the links in my description below. Fat is one of the lowest hanging fruits, or should I say lowest hanging globs, to begin removing to best help diabetes go into remission. That being said, next lowest hanging fruit is simple sugars. These are foods with carbohydrate energy that has been processed into a fine powder. This stuff is like kryptonite to the streets of the town, sending your Pizzaria delivery service like spinning out of control. These are often found in pastries, desserts, cakes, pastas, sports drinks, white bread, white rice, fruit juice, sodas, and more. More about this on my other videos. So now we know what foods, when eaten, spin the city of Pizzaria out of control and into diabetes. Let's talk about foods that start cleaning up that mess. What types of foods can help get type 2 diabetes in remission? If this has been helpful, please subscribe so you can keep learning and so you can help others and also get their diabetes into remission. Remember the highly processed grains we just said were kryptonite to our blood vessels and cells? Well, I have some interesting news. If you were to reverse that processing, take out the turbo speed grinding, refining, bleaching, and nutrient stripping, you'd actually get a pretty cool grain. This whole grain is packed with a harmonious symphony of nutrients, minerals, and energy that not only provide you with sustained and longer energy, they also, going back to our story, figuratively put up new house shingles, fix your squeaky door, and clean your kitchen. Whole grains are a wonderful way to see blood sugar stabilize over time and leave individuals with less after-meal tiredness or bloating. Secondly, I'm going to talk about fruit. Am I going to say avoid high sugar fruits? Nope. I tell my patients they can eat as many fruits as they like. So what do you think of when I say fruits? Is it canned peaches or fruit cup? Is it dried fruit with powdered sugar? What about Fruity Pebbles? I'm here to tell you whole is the goal. If someone's never eaten a fruit in their lives and all they have and all they know is canned peaches, well, then I suppose they can start there. The goal is to develop your habits and familiarity with whole fruits. There are some individuals with diabetes in remission that are eating upwards of 5, 6, 7 plus fruits per day. Please, if you've never done this, are on insulin, other medications, or have any diseases, please speak with your physician. Consult with her or him on what's best for you. Go slow. A reminder again, just like the powderized and processed grains are kryptonite, processed or stripped fruits can also be kryptonite to diabetes. Stripped or processed fruits are like the pizza shop dumping powdered sugar from a helicopter all over the city. It gets all over the roads, factories and homes. It's a mess to your blood sugar and it's a mess for your body. How do you know what stripped or processed fruit looks like? It's easy to spot. They are fruits that are in packages that tell you they're fruits. Because when you open the package, and if you have any knowledge of what a fruit looks like, you can clearly see it does not look like the fruit it claims it contains. Looking at the back label is a fantastic way to cut through the flashy marketing tactics. In America, it is mandated by law to have the most prevalent or most by weight ingredient listed first, and then continue through the last ingredient as the least amount. I invite you to do it the next time you're shopping, or even eating something. You'll likely be surprised at what you're actually eating. The goal is whole or complete, or the way it was grown in nature. Whole fruits are, again, a symphony of nutrients, chemicals, and minerals. Each of them work in unison in our bodies. Check this out. They found extracts from certain fruits contain a chemical to help slow down the breakdown and absorption of sugar. Going back to our analogy, that's like police going out with every pizza delivery boy on every delivery. You think he's going to speed? Absolutely not. Whole fruits are amazing for those with type 2 diabetes or prediabetes. The goal of diabetes treatment isn't just good blood sugars, it's getting the disease into remission. No looming fear of diabetes complications like blindness, heart attack, amputations, and more. I want to help you get your type 2 diabetes and prediabetes into remission. No more bloating and craziness in the city of Pizzaria in your body. I've created a 6-week program to walk you through, step by step, how to get diabetes reversed. We're here to help walk alongside of you during your journey to get your type 2 diabetes or prediabetes in remission, because it can be done.